Well, it's burning outside, it's summer, so how about a Sun Dragon deck profile? Today we're having a look at some cards for Sun Dragon deck profile. It's a big mishmash of characters, and yeah, Balsolea Bal is basically the focus as always for Sun Dragon. Anyways, here's the flag, stuff from the Golden Buddy Champion box. We've got the Luminized quote right there from Triple D, meaning of Fist, the joining of hearts, shine brightly, Super Sun. And of course our buddy's going to be Balsolea Imagine, just because it's a common card you can easily get. You chuck this into the soul of a Sun Dragon, and at the end of their battle, they get you get to gauge, gain a life. And at the end of the battle that this card attacked, you basically put in the soul of another Sun Dragon monster. You can use Sack Soul into Dios, or any monster that has Soul Guard really, to basically get that gauge in life and stack them up. Anyways, let's have a look at the monsters in the deck. So, first off, I did manage to get one copy of Dios from a trade, but I mean, this card is just really solid, and the meta deck with this is basically Dios, you have the new Sun Dragon Force, Bow Break, Warlord Sword, and Crimson Thunder, the one from Climax that you can grab cards from drop. Anyways, it's an 8/3/8, size 3. Call cost, put one or more monsters from your field in this card's soul and pay 3 gauge. At the beginning of each player's attack phase, destroy or return to hand all monsters your opponent's center, so being able to give you that return option as well, so you can return Gear God and cards that are immune to destruction. They aren't immune to return, so you can still do that. And damage you take are reduced by 2, and abilities of all cards on your field cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects, so just that additional thing right there, and double tech and Soul Guard. It's just a really solid card. It can be destroyed by card effects, can be returned to hand, but I mean, with that Soul Guard and reduced by 2, it's a really annoying card. We've got the previous version, really lucky to have a Buddy Rare version. We have Super Sun Dragon Balsolea, so 7/7, size 3 monster. Let me just get the non-gold version so it's slightly easier to see. So call cost 2 gauge, put a monster from your field in this card, so it's 1. So Dios is as many as you'd like from your field. Bal is only 1. One of our monsters are in this card's soul, gets critical +1, and if you be dealt damage, it's reduced by 1. And counteracts, you can pay a gauge and destroy a monster in your opponent's owner with double attack and Soul Guard. So essentially it's a 7/3/7, so 3 crit is really nice with that double attack. And of course, with the new rules, you can use more than 1 counter per battle, so you can use this ability like as many times as you like during that battle. So great card to destroy the center, and of course just, you know, have that reduced card on the field and be a threat to your opponent. We have Innocent Sun Dragon, Bal Dragon for size 2s. So only got one copy of it. Again, it's a mishmash and a meme. 7/2/3, size 2. Put the top card deck in this card's soul and pay 1 gauge. When this card is field, you may put 2 Sun Dragon from your drops on the bottom deck in any order. If you do, your life becomes 6, and put up to 1 Sun Dragon item or impact monster from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck with Penetrate and Soul Guard. Now, it can become 6, so if your life is lower than 6, you can increase your life essentially. Or you can set up your Dragon Force because your life instantly becomes 6 no matter where your life was before. And then, now that you have the release condition fulfilled, assuming you still have Innocent Sun Dragon on your field afterwards, you can basically just bring out Dragon Force and set up your combos, and it's just a great card. And of course, grabbing any impact monster from deck is absolutely amazing. You've got Sun Deity's Fragment Bal Dragon, pretty self-explanatory. Pay a life to call when it enters and search your deck for any Balsolea monster in your deck, put into your hand. You can also search for the impact monster as well. And if it's in the soul of Sun Dragon, gets penetrated. So very simple. So you, let's say, call this card, call Flare Fang, gauge and draw, and then call Dios and chuck both of them into the soul. We have Sun Deity's Fragment, Bal Burn right here, size 2, 4/4. 1 gauge. When this card is field, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put up to 1 Sun Dragon monster, remove them into your hand, and put the rest into the drop zone with move. And because it does not specify that you cannot grab impact monsters, you can grab impact monsters with his effect. So any monsters, because impact monsters are regarded as monsters, and impacts, in case you didn't remember that. And while we're on the topic of impact monsters, by the way, you can only call them normally once per turn. But if they're called by effects, that bypasses that rule. Anyways, we have 4 Shining Sun Dragon Bal Dragon. You also get this card as a common from Solar Strife as well. And I have the secret version as well, 1 copy of it from Solar Strife. Let me just move it to the back so it's easier to see. So, it's a 3/3 size 2 monster. 1 gauge, top card deck in the soul. When it attacks for this turn, 5,000 power. Beginning of your final phase, top card deck in your gauge, penetrate Soul Guard. So it's kind of just there to fulfill your release conditions, but of course that gauge is also nice. You can throw it out first turn to your center or left or whatever you need it, and of course it keeps getting you back that gauge. So yeah, 4 copies right there. Now, onto the size 1s, you got Loyal Dragon, Flare Fang Dragon. Now, it's a secret pack, 3/1/1, size 1. If you have an originally size 3 Sun Dragon on your field, it's reduced by 3 its size. So, sorry, not 3, by 1. So, if you have Dios or Bal on your field, it's reduced. And if you have a size 2 greater, Sun Dragon enters field, gauge and draw, activates once for main phase and once for final phase. So, essentially, it's a 2 free gauge and draw. And later on, or on that turn, your opponent has to deal with this card, or you're just going to be gaining a ton of resources. And again, a really nice common from the set reprinted. We've got Flare Fang Dragon, so 3/1/1, size 1 Sun Dragon. It was a triple rare in the very first Triple D set. When it's just field, gauge and draw, very simple card. Gets you the resources you need, and yeah, just essentially easy fodder for Balsolea as well. We've also got Mera Blade Inazuma. Just wanted to say that right. 3/2/1, size 1. When this card link attached to Sun Dragon or Thunder Empire field, for this turn give it double tech, so combo with your impact monsters, for example regeneration to gain 6 life instead, with your items. It's basically just a double tech card, and of course it's just monster fodder in the deck as well. And of course the art is amazing, and it's a really easy card to get as it's only an uncommon in Buddy Legends, so very available card. We've got Flare Fang Dragon SD, 2 copies of it right here, so 2/1/1. You can become a size, power plus 4,000 if your opponent doesn't have a monster in the center. And during your turn, when a monster your opponent's field is destroyed, you get to draw a card. So simply it's there just a size 0 because you can fit it with Battle on your field as well. We've got the double rare and triple rare variant as well. And of course, you know, draw power is always great and you need it, especially in Buddy Fight with some decks having some insane draw power. Of course, you've also got Boomerang Dragon Returns as well, new card from Solar Strife. It's basically has the exact same effect as Boomerang Dragon, though at the end of the battle, you have to put a hand card into your gauge. If you do, draw a card, and then you get to return it to your hand. So, I mean, gauge and draw, cycle, is solid card, and of course you can have it with Dios and whatever else on your field. And if you can draw into an impact monster or defensive card for next turn, it's just absolutely top decking. So we've got 4 copies of Balsala Imagine the Buddy, just because you can chuck this into any soul, you can stack soul for Dios, and it's free gauge in life. And it's a really easy buddy to call and just get out there for Sunfist, Inheritable, Sunshine, Impact. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, moving on to the spells. We've got 4 copies of Sun Dragon Shield. Maybe not be the best option. I know Sun Dragon Shield is very outdated, especially in this era of Buddy Fight. But I mean, Gauge and Life is really good, and the fact that it can't be nullified is solid. So you need the Gauge, you need the Life, and it's basically Sun Dragon Shield, Blue Dragon Shield combined, and it's just a solid card. So yeah, 4 copies of that. There are some better options for defensive cards, of course, in Dragon World. Here's a few of them. We got Dragonic Heal Plus. So you only cast this card. Sorry, there's no condition. I was thinking about selling another card. Anyways, counter, you gain 2 life. You have 5 life or less. You have a card with Dragonic Heal. It's a card name in your drop zone. Gain 3 life. You only cast Dragonic Heal once per turn. Of course, it's a counter spell, so you can survive impacts as well. For example, Gargantua Punisher, DD Gargantua Punisher, Fang, stuff like that. And of course, the camera doesn't want to focus. So we got 1 copy of Bellshine Blaster, 1 gauge and 1 life. Destroy monster opponent's field. Then if you have a card with, monster with Balsala and its card in your field, destroy a card in your opponent's field. So again, destruction is just really nice. And of course, Steel Dragon Fangs, nullify attack, pay gauge. Next time you beat that damage, reduced by 2. And of course, stack that with Battle or Dios' abilities. You can reduce it by 3 or 4. So yeah, just solid cards. You can stop more attacks and damage coming your way. And of course, 2 copies of Loud Voice because reducing your opponent's field, debuffing it is just absolutely solid and definitely one of the top cards, and it was really cancer. It just shuts down a lot of aggro decks, especially Chaos and stuff like that. Anyways, we've got Greatest Battle. Battle, you only cast this card during your final phase, a secret spell. So it allows you to call impact monsters by effect, so gauge 2, then you can call an impact monster in your hand, paying its call cost. If you do, draw 2 cards. So pair this up with the impact monster, you're basically using 2 cards from your hand, and you additionally gain them back by drawing 2 from its own effect, which is just really, really good. You got 2 cards, Dragon Roars, sorry, only 1 copy. Dragon Roars, Luring, Dragon Blast. So to gauge, destroy all monsters in your opponent's field and draw cards equal to the number of cards destroyed. So I mean, free destruction, free draw, especially if you want to wipe your opponent's field. Great against Chaos if they don't have that set spell out. And really, maybe you want to play this more as sideboard. I just have it in deck for draw power and destruction. And also, you have the gauge to afford it with Sun Dragons. So it's a thing here and there if you want to switch it out. Heaven's Sunshine. So 1 life. Destroy monster opponent's field. If you do, call up to 1 Dragon Wielder or Guardian's monster the same size as a monster from your deck by paying its call cost. Shuffle your deck. You only cast it once per turn. So essentially, you can use this to call impact monsters as well. So for example, your opponent is playing Chaos because they use a lot of size 3s. Destroy that size 3 if you can, and then you can call Dios or Balbreak, the impact monster from your deck. Same with size 2s as, you know, Garga. What else is there? Cross Astrologia. A lot of the new monsters that are size 2 and 3s, easily destroy them, and just like that you have Baal or Innocent Sun God, Baal called straight from your deck. It's just a really solid card. Really nice tech if you want to try that out for yourself. We got Sun in the Darkness. Draw a card. Your opponent has 8 or more cards in drop zone. You get the free gauge. So I mean, free hand cards, free gauge. 3 copies of Scry Dragon Divinity. Just a really, really great draw card. You can't refuse it in the deck, honestly. And it's really generic draw power for Ancient World and Dragon World. So great card. 3 copies of each. We have got 1 copy of Dragonic Exchange. Now, with Sun Dragons, you obviously are going to be playing a lot of gauge, or at least have a lot of cards that get you a lot of gauge. So with this, you do have to sacrifice that hand card because you need to put a card back into the gauge. But the fact that you have a lot of, usually you'd have 3 to maybe sometimes even 8 or 5 gauge that you can search through to get the specific card you need for the situation, it just really helps you set up for that match you're in, and it can be really, really game saving. So, 1 copy of that. Especially if you need items, or let's say you don't have any monsters in your hand, you can finally grab something you need. Dragonic Heal Plus, it's gauge. 5 life or less, you get 5 gauge, more gauge for you. We got Blessing of the Sun right here from the trial deck. Gauge 3 for Sun Dragons, because you need more gauge. 2 copies of Battle Rescue. You can gauge 2, or if you have a monster with Battle, it's a second effect. You can grab a Sun Dragon monster who drops into your hands and grab Battle Soleil, grab an Impact monster, whatever you need, that's a monster. Grab Flare Fang for that gauge and draw, whatever you need. So there you go. 2 copies of that. And of course, the items. Now, I didn't really manage to get a better Dragon Force, but here it is. Dragon Force, style of Straight Fist. They changed the name and reprinted it in Solar Strife. So, it's basically link attack with another Sun Dragon, you nuke your opponent's field, deal damage for each monster destroyed, and it can attack during final phase, so you can use it with Battle Break as well. And of course, cannot be destroyed, return to hand, its ability cannot be nullified. And of course, it's got the classic release condition, a 6 life for last type of monster with Battle Dragon. So yeah, just a solid item that you kind of need to work with the deck. Honestly, would not recommend it for any Sun Dragon deck. It's just that I need it in order to have something else in case this ends up in my gauge or drop zone. So Dragon Force, style of Impact, 5/3, the secret version. There was also reprinted as a double rare in Solar Strife. 6 life or less, you have a monster with Battle Dragon or Battle Soleil on your field, 2 gauge to equip. Beginning of your final phase, stand this card, and this card gets critical +1. This card in the field cannot be destroyed nor return to hand. This ability cannot be nullified and attack during final phase. So again, exact same thing, pair it with Battle Break. Being able to stand, get critical +1, you can still basically use it, for example, call Battle Break and then link with that during your final phase, or you can pair this up with the card like, Combination later on. So stand it attacks 3 crit, stand 4 crit, and then with Battle Force Regeneration, stand it, and now it goes up to 5 crit in the link attack because it gets crit +1. Anyways, there is the Impact monster I was talking about, which we'll get to in a second. Anyways, items, let's just go through really quickly. We got Sunfish, Battle Guard, 1 copy, 1 gauge of 1 life, can't be touched by your opponent's card effects, 6/2, and you can keep a Sun Dragon on your field if you pay gauge, so DLs or whatever, because you really annoy your opponent. Battle Flame, because we gotta keep the Sun Dragon trend item going. Honestly, I would replace it with a Battle Guard or something, or better Dragon Force if I had it. I just didn't want to fork out the money to do that right now, because I was working on Disaster with some other stuff. So yeah, 1 copy of that. It's also reduced damage. Pair that up with Dios as well. And 2 gauge Inheritable Sun Sunshine Impact. So 6/2, 2 gauge. This card in your field cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects if the card in your buddy zone is rest. So basically if your buddy is being called, because when you buddy call, the card in your buddy zone rests. And when this card gets Penetrate, and its power becomes infinity. So easily taking down walls, a Thora, anything really annoying. And of course, Penetrate is always helpful for dealing damage. And Double Attack just makes it a really solid card. Okay, Impact monsters. Really quickly, we've got the meme, Battle Dragon, Battle Weapon combination. I mean, you get more damage if you can play this card unexpectedly to your opponent and just wipe them out. You can try and get them to bait them out with their defensive spells, and then during final phase, just hit them with some hard damage that they don't expect and surprise them. So, honestly, not too bad of a card in my opinion. Again, there are better options, like this card. Battle Dragon, Battle Blaster, Grand Bolt. Now, you do have to get to 5 life or less in order to pay 2 gauge to stand it, but I mean, its stats are great. It can attack everything. Its call cost is only 2 gauge, put on top of Sun Dragon, and with Soul Guard, it can basically wipe your opponent's field and deal some massive damage. And hey, if you got a ton of gauge, you're at 5 life or less, impact call this thing and just go bizarre in your opponent and deal damage for days. Battle Dragon, Battle Force Regeneration, 11/2/6, size 2. To put this card on top of a Sun Dragon monster in your field and pay 2 gauge. This card in this field, equip up to 1 Sun Dragon item for your deck without paying its equip cost and shuffle your deck. For this turn, that card can attack during the final phase, gets critical +1, and when it attacks, you gain 3 life with move, Penetrate, Soul Guard. So, not only is it giving you defense, but it's also giving you offense as well. So a combo that I like to do is call this card, equip this from my deck. Now it's got 3 crit, infinite power, Penetrate, and double attack with 3 crit. And that is just going to hit your opponent hard during final phase. So yeah, it's just a great card just because you can get a Sun Dragon item straight from your deck. And of course that gain 3 life and move Penetrate is just really nice tech card. And of course, the god himself. Battle Soleil, the end of Battle Break, the Sun God. That is absolutely busted. 10/3/10, size 3 impact monster. Put this card on top of a monster with Battle Dragon or Battle Soleil and this card in your field and pay 3 gauge. If you have an item with release condition equipped, this card's attack cannot be nullified. And once card link attacks with a Sun Dragon item, deal 5 damage to your opponent. This card cannot be reduced. So essentially, it's guaranteed 5 damage, let's say, if you have Style of Impact. Where did it go? Let's say this card, for example. Final phase, call this card. Let's say you haven't attacked with this yet. You link attack, destroy all monsters on your opponent's field. Then you get to deal damage for each card destroyed, deal 5 damage they can't reduce, and then also they can't nullify the 5 crit link attack as well. So Sun Dragons have some crazy cards. This card is quite cancerous. I honestly hate it as well. But yeah, tested out the Sun Dragon deck, had a lot of fun. Also managed to pick up the Vanguard starter deck if anyone is curious about that. I think I'm going to try Vanguard, you know, just play for fun at locals or something and try and support the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the Sun Dragon deck profile. I have a disaster one coming soon. Sorry for this video being a bit long. Honestly, for this month I'm going to be taking a break from YouTube just to get away from things, you know, after, you know, it's summer, you gotta relax, take some time off, and just see how things are going. Gonna upload probably a few Ace videos, something here and there, but if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to see, do tell me. So yeah, have a great day, keep on buddy fighting, and can't wait to see what crazy deck profiles are gonna be out there for this set, and especially for Ace. So, have a great day.